Yeah.
Kansas, I think.
Yeah,
So, just outside of,
Some of them states are.
or was it Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma now, you
it
said.
might be Oklahoma, yeah, I can't totally remember. But
Cindy, you didn't hear from her?
Unless you did.
Yeah, maybe she's just mad she's not gonna show up. That happens. Boy, something's not right here. It just keeps circling and says not responding. That's not a good sign, is it?
Oh, it's the blue.
I got the blue circle of
Death.
death going on mine.
Look at the dust on that screen.
Oh, man, holy.
Hey, I don't touch my screens.
Jeez, clearly, wow.
You must leave that open.
No? The dust?
Here comes Cindy. Here comes Cindy.
That's fine.
How's that, better?
We're live.
Oh, heck, no, it's working. All right, so it must be 7 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order and start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Hey, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Mullen.
Here.
Behrens. Here. Mattson. Here. And Jazz.
Yes. All right, do we have any additions or action on the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Behrens?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
All right, how about the minutes from the 3/18/25 meeting?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from 3/18/2025.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Behrens?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, bills, nothing?
No bills.
All right, public comment from anybody who's here for anything other than agenda items? And I asked Bryce if he wanted to talk, and he said no. So we'll let him off the hook. We will move to visitors. Ms. Kaitlyn Kibler from downtown Hartford.
Thank you,
And your expert.
and my expert. So Hannah and I are both on the Farmers Market Committee, and that's who we are here for today. So we're looking to get approval to add a sidewalk mural for the market. Hannah has visuals.
Oh, sure, absolutely, you can.
So she's my expert, she came prepared. So we're looking to get approval for the sidewalk that runs along the brewery, and then the one across the street that runs along the vacant lot downtown.
Okay.
General idea is kind of a twofold, have additional promotion for the market, and then it will essentially be a giant life-size coloring book is the general goal. Hannah can kind of explain how it works as far as the paint part of it goes.
Yes, so hello, my name is Hannah Stromstad. I've been with the market committee for 3 or 4 years now.
She does the awesome face painting.
Yeah.
Kids ever get their face painted at the
Oh,
market?
okay.
We love the free activities for the kids, right?
Yes.
So I taught myself how to face paint there. And then I got into doing some chalk murals. So I did a chalk mural at the zoo last year for their Zoo Boo event, and I used this temporary paint, also called tempera paint or temporary chalk. So what it is, basically, it's paint that will wash off over time, and that could be with just like weather, with foot traffic. It takes quite a while for it to wash off, not like regular sidewalk chalk that takes a couple rainfalls and it'll come off. So the goal is to make these, like, for example, the focal point, it's a downtown Hartford farmers market. I would do the outlines of that with the tempera paint, and that will last hopefully throughout our season. I might have to come touch it up. But then each market, the kids can come and we will have chalk there, and they can fill in the letters and, chalk it up however they want. And then hopefully by the next month market, that'll get washed off, so it's like a clean slate for them. In the coloring book each time. And we hope to add these little graphics. I just put some examples there, but
Yep.
maybe some faceless figures that they can put little eyeballs on and have fun with it. Some flowers, something farmer's market themed. But like Kaitlyn said, it's like a kind of like a coloring book in real life. And so this tempera paint, I've purchased it from Blick Art Materials. And it's a water-based paint, it's safe for ages 3 and up, it's allergen friendly. I dilute it with 50/50 water and paint so that it's easier to spread, but also easier to clean up. And yes, it lasts quite a while, months, depending on all of the factors. But you can also just pressure wash it off. Some colors you might have to pressure wash it a couple times, or use Dawn dish soap and vinegar or degreaser. But other than that, it's removable.
So yeah, that's what we're asking today.
Well, I think that's an awesome idea. Craig, do you see anything?
I don't see any problem with it.
Because if it runs off, it's not gonna hurt anything, right?
No.
It's nothing that's,
It's, but yeah, no different than sidewalk shop.
What about the cats that live in the gutters?
They'll wonder what
You
I'm
would,
doing
Sean.
there.
Why would it not be safe for less than 3, ages 3?
Well, I think once it's dry, I think it's fine.
That's
isn't
what
it?
a lot of paint has on it.
Oh.
I think it's more for application purposes. It's not for kids yet, like.
Drinking the paint.
Right, yes, where once it's on and dry.
Right, and there's
Yeah.
binders and pins. So like this, the binders that they use.
So Ryan, you're not allowed to help.
I'm out. Yeah, stepped in that one, didn't you?
Won't work, yeah.
But the binders in this, it's allergy friendly, it's not toxic, so.
Well, that's a great idea. I suspect we should have a motion so that's okay, so they know that that's good to do it. Somebody would.
This is the street where we're putting the meters, right?
Yeah. Josh with that.
Make a motion to approve the request to allow mural painting on the city sidewalk.
Second.
Any other discussion? Great idea.
Yeah, thank you.
If not, we'll vote. Jazz? Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
When's the first farmer's market again?
29th of May.
May, right?
Yep, we're doing the last Thursday of the month this year,
Okay.
May through September. So.
Thank you.
And this will be ready to go for that first one?
Yes, that's the plan, so, barring it rains every day until then, we should have it already around.
I don't know that that's gonna
I
happen.
don't think so either, but.
No, great idea. Thank you guys for bringing that to us.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
As usual, you were terrible to deal with.
That's the word on the street.
That is the word on the street.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. 70, we're past 7:05, so we can move to applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions, and ordinances. We have one in front of us tonight. 7:05 public hearing for waste management of Sioux Falls, a garbage hauler application, and this is for roll-offs only. Paperwork is in your packet, according to the notes from Teresa, everything's good. They gave us all the paperwork, paid the fees and all that pertinent information.
Yep, Karen's gathered all the information needed for the application and payment.
And this will make how many roll-off guys? 3, 4?
4 or 5? 4 or 5, yeah.
Okay.
You've got 2 residential service that you don't go door
Right,
to door.
right.
And then the roll-offs,
Yep.
yeah, I think there's 5. I think there's 5 people in construction.
I got a pile of vehicles, so this covers all of those.
Yeah.
The vehicle
they-
list is-
Per ordinance, they have to give us a list
Yeah.
of
All of their,
basically what weight, their vehicle,
Yep.
and what weights they are, just to know what's going on city streets.
yep.
Guessing this is the waste management, the national company, just,
Yeah, the
Green and yellow.
BGOM, the
Yep.
green, yeah.
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep, that's
Yep.
the company.
Of Sioux Falls, so it's just confusing.
You angling for some tickets to a golf tournament?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Make a motion to approve the garbage license for waste management in Sioux Falls.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson? Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to reports. First up, the most exciting part of the evening, city engineer report.
Good evening, everyone. On the general engineering side, just a quick update on the TAP grant. We did hear from the state today, and we can expect the financial agreement end of this week or early next. That's the first piece in the project before we can start with survey and design. So once we get that, we'll continue to push that project forward. Moving on to the project updates, the water resource recovery facility. Quick update again tonight. Construction of the lift station and lift station piping is complete, and then as time allows, they will be placing the pumps in the lift station over the coming weeks. Additionally, as noted previously, the A train, the east side of the Aeromod piping and diffusers and blowers and all of that piping is anticipated to be completed mid-week. And then additionally, with the arrival of the major pieces of equipment, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and process piping installation is continually ongoing. Moving on to the Highway 38 water main extension. As noted in the report, there was a punch list walk last Friday for both this project and the water resource recovery facility trunk sewer. They share a bit of Railroad Street there, so found it prudent to line those up since Sidewalk's completed both scopes of each project. So major punch list items remaining there obviously consist of seeding, just with winter into spring now, and some regrading of the ditches to ensure drainage along those, and then just removal of large rocks and debris that just shouldn't be remaining since the city does have to mow. We don't want those getting thrown. And then just erosion control measures, especially with the rain. Don't want that sediment being deposited elsewhere. Moving on to Western Avenue. Pre-construction meeting is scheduled for April 9th. So we're working forward to that. Looking forward to getting that one kicked off. But in the meantime, working on preparing letters to residents and businesses that both live and have businesses along the Western Avenue corridor, but also that are along Route Trail, Opal Lane, and Trojan over there, just making sure, getting them aware of it. And then notifying them that there will be a project website created for this, just to post weekly updates as we've done on previous projects, and just contact information for the team there. So anything comes up that we don't notice or happens after hours, they can get a hold of us and let us know to get it remedied. Lastly, the Parks Master Plan, the Phase 2 deliverables, which is a 60% draft of the citywide Parks and Trails Master Plan, as well as the mini master plan for the city park that is expected to be delivered to the city this week. So once comments are provided on those two items, we'll continue to refine those and look forward to final deliverables June time. So happy to answer any questions. If there are none, there is a action item for the council.
What's the completion date for Western Avenue? Is that like an 18-month?
That's November
of 2026?
2025.
Also, okay, for some reason I don't know why I had 18 months.
So it's going to be a lot of construction to get done in the months of, call it end of April to November. The contractor says it's feasible.
Okay.
So.
Have we done any general communication about that project, or I appreciate the people living and working in that area, the businesses, but like.
So we were talking a little bit about that at our last touch base, on getting just some general notifications through your guys' text system and some of that other stuff. So we're trying to get as much out. Those letters they should be in the mail, really in that area. I'm going to call it South Mickelson, kind of know that project area. In addition, through our brainstorming, we identify even those businesses on the north side of town, like those like the school, trash, everybody else. We're getting all those letters out. Pre-construction meeting is the 9th. We're having a business owner meeting that following week too to keep them all wheeled down. Contractor will be there as well.
Does the state?
State had a meeting scheduled. I thought I seen something.
That's for highway.
That's for highway.
Oh, that's 38, not the bridge.
As far as I know, they don't have anything scheduled for the bridge project.
Okay.
To your question, the state communication, I mean, generally it's going to be, they will send some flyers out, but direct communication to the residents probably doesn't happen as much, and that's where we're trying to at least get that impacted area. Some of the benefits we're going to get on some of our communication is just the messaging they'll have along the interstate to help us out too.
I think the issue is, we have two ways in and out of town.
Yep.
And so I think people would like advance notice, just generally, so newsletters, sign. I don't know if we have other boards we can use.
Yep. The newsletter, the website, Facebook, we've kind of identified that whole list, like I said, and then the school and the ones with semi-traffic lights and.
Our
you know.
website, like a post
Yep,
on here?
yep.
Yeah, okay.
So we're, yep, trying
What's
to
the
figure out every
completion?
way to get it out
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt. What's completion date on the bridge? Is that also?
It's broken in phases. They're still kind of getting a majority of the work done this year. I would
Gotcha.
anticipate there will be some work that goes into 2026 for them.
All right, any other questions for Michael or Justin? All right, we got an action item, pay request for Rice Lake.
Make a motion to approve pay request number 18 to Rice Lake Construction Group for $715,785.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barrett?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
So if I read this right, this pushes us to 18,852,000, does that sound correct?
Let me get down to what percent, 18.
Is that the
18,136, yeah.
18,852,587, is that the number?
91.2.
Oh, 19, okay, hold on. So with the retainage, 19,000, is that, or no? What is
Oh, with
that?
the contingency you're in?
Yeah.
So-
No, I'm looking at that sheet that shows all of how much we've paid so far this year.
Total PTD is 19,480,000.
Okay,
So
that's the number.
With this pay request.
Yeah, okay, with this pay request, it's 19,400. That's what I wanted to know. Yep,
91% complete, so like a large majority of the
yep.
nuts and bolts and everything's there. Have to fabricate some stuff and then.
Yeah.
Water flowing through.
Quick question, do you guys have a list of the subcontractors that are doing some of the work?
Yeah.
Could you send that to me? If you just have a general, I'm just curious on who's doing the painting and casework, all those things. Thank you.
All right,
Balanced finish there is roughly 2.4.
yeah,
Okay.
close. All right, we had a motion and a second, right?
We voted.
Oh, we already voted? Jeez, boy. I had too much steak.
I thought you should have had that second drink.
I know, I know. Jeez, shush, Brian.
You said you were reading the paper.
All right, anything else from you guys? Good, thank you. All right, Public Works Superintendent Craig.
Just a couple of things to add to my report. As far as the sports complex concession building, we are doing the final on it and plumbing inspection on Monday. We were gonna do it tomorrow, but the way the weather looks, I don't wanna turn the water on and have something freeze and break in the meantime, so.
Right.
Next week's supposed to be a little bit nicer, we should be okay up to that point. So we'll be doing that, partitions are in, everything else is pretty much wrapped up and done. The concrete's not done yet, the frost finally came out on the north side of the building, but it's pretty sloppy over there. So they do have a gate Monday, we are gonna open them up and have the concessions ready to go. But we'll put some plywood down for people to walk on, so we can add some gravel down to keep our mud and stuff. But then the following week, they don't have any games scheduled for that week, so I'm gonna try to get all the concrete work done that week, so. That's where I'm at with that.
All right, any questions for Craig?
Your budget number was low on the pickleball bathrooms, huh?
A little bit. Plumbing electrical kills you. I thought for such a simple little bathroom, it wouldn't have been so bad,
They're
but.
singing to the choir. Yeah, a pressure switch replaced, cost me $400. It's like a $40 part, right? So when I send my bills out and people go, it costs how much? Yeah,
Yeah, that number kind of shocked me, so.
yeah, for sure.
Wow. All right, thank you, Craig. We'll move on to Karen.
I don't have anything to add, kind of the same old information, so.
All right, any questions for Karen? If not, we'll move on to Teresa's report.
Not too much data, give you a little update on summer help. Like I put in my report, we did hire a dump monitor, the pool manager, and the park and rec director. Also, this past week, we have hired 2 public works assistants. They're returning workers from previous years, and we're still looking for maybe 1 or 2 more. And then park rec coordinator. We still need a couple park rec assistants, and we're still taking applications for lifeguards. We've only got a couple so far, so hopefully they'll start pouring in. So that's where we are with summer help so far. We got a little bit of time to work on that. Otherwise, the rest of my updates on my report, I don't know if you have any questions. Dakota Mainston did have their annual meeting this past Friday I was at. I gave you a little update in that. There's quite a few members from originally. Started off with 29, and we were one of the original 29. Is now up to 56 members. This last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, they've had a lot of municipalities join in. So they've got quite a few members there, which is good. That's a stronger stance when you go to get funding or whatnot, to see everybody who's in need of the water, from there. I got elected onto the board for a 2-year term on the Dakota Mainston. Right now, the first phase is doing an appraisal study. They plan to finish that at the end of this year. After that, they do a feasibility study. That should take another couple more years, 2027. And feasibility is basically all the options that we've looked at. Once they've gotten that completed, that's when they can start going to the federal agencies and the state agencies and look for funding and whatnot. We knew this is a long haul before this project. It's still a 20 to 30-year project, depending on how long all this takes. And the biggest thing that's probably going to take the longest, and the studies look like they take a long time, but it's getting the funding for it. So, we have secured another $1 million in grants that'll help there's a director that we pay, and there's an accountant that we pay, and of course all the engineers, so that'll help with all that financing too. So they're making progress. I think we're on the right track for it. So let you know that next Monday, Highway 38, the state is doing that study. They've been doing that for the past year. They're going to have their last public input meeting this coming Monday at the high school. Once they gather information from that, they will be putting out a final report within the next couple months, so then that study will be completed. I didn't put it in my report, but I gave you an update. The county did finish their study on Western Avenue, and that is in your computer boxes for you guys to take a look at. So if we do want to make additional improvements to Western at some point, we can utilize that study to help them get funding with that. So that'll be a good thing for us. And the last update on my report is I attended the District 3 meeting last week, and that's where the Municipal League comes in. You have a dinner, but then they go over, basically give you an update on the legislative changes that will affect municipalities. So I kind of listed out some of the things that will directly affect us. Is election dates have changed. Our ordinances, we have it in April. Now they're only giving you the option of June and November, and they're trying to tie it in with the county elections and the schools just for more turnout. So that is one thing we will have to, sometime this year, because it doesn't take effect till next year, update our ordinance and decide when we want to hold our elections and go from there. There are a lot of questions still yet. They passed the legislation for it, but there's questions like, are there going to be 2 ballots? Are there going to be 1 ballot? Is there going to be 2 election boards? Or is there 1 election? There's a lot of the nuances that need to be figured out yet. So they'll work through that. The state will work through that this year and then give us more information on how we proceed. Another thing, open meeting laws. Basically, it's requiring, and we'll probably maybe just do it in January at the beginning of the year, you have to, at a public meeting, go through the open meeting laws, basically kind of recite them so the public knows about them. And one little kind of refresher in that is, they pointed out is, and we know this too, with emails, if there's some, like when I send out information to you, you guys know not to reply because that's a breaking of the open meeting laws. But they also reminded, they've included now this year, social media too. So if there's a Facebook post, I can't have 4 of you chiming in on that Facebook post. So just keep that in mind too, because they've widened that out. Basically, any correspondence, you can't have more than 4 of you doing that, so keep that in mind. Other thing is they changed the law on firearms within municipal buildings, that we can't restrict employees from having, and if you remember when we adopted our employee policy, we put that in there, so we'll be making that change too, to kind of tweak that one, so I'll bring that later on this year before you guys. It don't take effect till July. And then, so one of the biggest things is property tax. We've all heard the governor has put, the cap, some restrictions on property tax and what we can basically apply for our levy going forward. That will restrict our revenue that comes into the city, because if you don't have, if they're restricting your assessments, that's really how, it's part of the formula, figure out how much you can get levy and property taxes. So we'll just need to keep that in mind at budget time. There's a 5-year cap on it, but it is something that will affect us going forward that we need to be cognizant of, so. And then just a couple other things I put in there, just to keep an eye, don't really directly affect us, but, with the Summit pipeline coming so close to us, they did pass a law about eminent domain, so that's something to keep an eye on. And then the prison discussions. There's they didn't get their funding to continue on the site they're at, so they put together a study group that is going to look at various options. So, like I said, something to keep an eye on, to see where it goes.
They're meeting Thursday at the Alliance. Yes, there's public comment. I think Joy sent me a text today.
Okay.
Public comments are like at 12:30 on Thursday. So
that's just kind of a little rundown of kind of some things that are going on. Do you have any questions?
2 quick questions on the email. When you do send us emails, so can I, if you send an email, can I send an email directly to you back?
Yeah, one-on-one back you can, but you can't reply all.
Reply all.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing, because then you're bringing in the whole council and that. So, yeah, you can reply directly back. So if you have a question about something or whatnot, send it back to me, and then I can send out for more information, but we can't have a reply all discussion. That would be a violation of open meetings.
So I wonder, just on that, I'm just thinking, just if you send it out and BCC people, so when you BCC people, then that way nobody can hit reply all accidentally. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of, I'm just thinking like, because it's so easy to hit reply all, and next thing you know, oh, hey, I just broke a state law accidentally. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like,
Is that like going around a barricade?
it is, but hey, I didn't know it was a law, so that doesn't count, right? And then one more quick thing on, I think I brought this up a few months ago on as we're on the water talk, just a quick update. So the water contracts, they're up this year, but they're just extending them for a period of time with many, is that the?
So last year, our actual contract was up. They did extend it for another year.
Another year.
I actually kind of, at Dakota Mainston, ran into Scott from Rural Water, and it's extended till June. So June, I says, how are we coming? Has your board decided how they're going to progress, how they're going to allocate water? It doesn't sound like they've gotten much progress, so.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's on my calendar to touch base with him again to see what we need to do. I'm anticipating they'll probably be extended another year, but, yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do.
I have a couple questions. So did they give you any indication on the election date deal? How does that work? Are they going to have everybody reset? We're going to have to rerun? How are they?
I think it's going to be going forward. So like next year in 2026, who the spots that will be up, we'll have our ordinance change to decide where we're going to
Okay.
be.
It essentially extends our term though, doesn't it?
Right.
Depending on what you choose.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think that's one of the nuances
months.
too, because that is not in the legislation, the past. So
I
that's
just,
one of the nuances. It's
I
gotta-
just heard it, whether it was on the news or whatever, they were talking about the mayoral run in Sioux
Yeah.
Falls.
Yep.
And that his term would be could be extended up to
Right.
whatever, 8 months.
I think
that would be how they do it.
I
You wouldn't want to
that's-
have just
I think that's,
6 months.
Yeah, because then you're gonna have, say we do
April to.
say we do November or something, yeah, there's gonna be.
I think there's probably some details that,
That's all part of the details.
Yeah, it
If you
wasn't-
actually read the legislation, there's a lot of questions. There's none of those details in there, like you said, of even with the election boards, how it's gonna work, with the ballots, how it's gonna work, so. And they specifically pointed that out at the district meeting, that there's a lot of things that need to be worked out before this can move forward. And that we'll get more information on it as they figure it out, so.
maybe just for the council's information, our Senator Joy Owen is on that prison task force.
Oh,
So, just so you know, if you have any questions, I can sure give you her number if you want to talk to her, because she's on that. She's one of the people that's on that, so.
I was gonna say, thanks for taking the lead on that Dakota Mainsman thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's, I don't know how many hours that takes, but I'm sure it's
when we first started off, it used to be, because we were trying to organize about once a month, but now it's like once a quarter, and this was their annual meeting, so it's not
it hasn't been too.
tons of time, yeah, exactly.
Well, thank
Like
you
I said,
for
once
doing
we've
that.
got it organized, it's going pretty good.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to step back because I don't know that everybody knows, but ISG was the SMGA, I think, did we?
Yes, we should point that out.
I don't know that we put that in our stuff, but ISG was the SMGA Partner of the Year. And don't clap too much.
And he didn't even invite you for dinner tonight, man.
Hey.
The win is, we got some really nice words from Hartford.
Yeah, they've got him on tape now, man. I had to say nice things, man.
Before I go to bed, I just play.
Yeah, you didn't play
Goes through your head.
it. Every time I call him, he plays that thing.
That's
So,
weird.
yeah, that is weird.
I heard those compliments that really blow your hair back.
Gee whiz. All right, anything else, Teresa? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt in the middle of your report. Any questions for Teresa? Thank you for that. Do you think we need to have, are you planning on going to the 38, or you, Craig, or Teresa, were you planning on going?
I do plan on going.
You're
I
gonna
told
go?
them that I would go, but, stuff.
Might do that just because it might give me a chance to. All right, let's move to old business. We want to review and approve the funding scenarios for Western Avenue. We talked about this last week with the bidding coming in and lower than the engineer's estimate, which is great. That we have an opportunity to change the figures, so to speak, on how much we would take out of our general fund reserves, how big we would make our sales tax bond. And Teresa and Karen have put this together. It's in your packet. A lot of numbers, but they also, in that figure, that 3.8 figure, have included some contingency money, the construction money, and some estimated 100,000 for the lighting that we know is going to be an extra. So they've put in some cushion, if that's the best way to say that.
Yeah, the 3.8 hopefully shouldn't, we didn't know about the lighting
Yep.
when we first looked at our first funding scenario. We didn't know what the construction ministry, we knew there'd be some, so that, first figure that we worked off of, has some contingency in it. We knew there'd be higher than, luckily bids did come in low, like we talked about last time. That funding scenario, option one, is kind of what we talked about last week. With the bids coming in lower, it would allow us to, we wouldn't have to use, be able to save about $1 million in our general fund, and then have a lower sales tax bond, only 2.25. The question came up, well, what if we are able to take $3 million in bonds, that's our max we can draw, because that's the resolution we passed last year. So question came up, what if we take the $3 million, then how would that affect our funding scenario? So that option two is doing a $3 million sales tax bond. Basically, we wouldn't have to take anything from sewer, water, and just a small portion from general. So basically, with funding scenario one, we would have a smaller sales tax bond, but we'd have a smaller sales tax bond, but we would have to use more cash reserves. The opposite is with option 2. We'd have a larger sales tax bond, but we would have less, or we'd have to use less cash reserves, allowing us to have more cash on hand for future expenses, future projects. We know everything's going up, except probably our revenue expenses, so, having that cash on hand may not be a bad idea. At the very bottom of the first page, I did put out, I had the bond company send over the amortizations for each scenario. So for both would be a 20-year loan. Option 1, I put our payment is roughly $195,000, maybe. For scenario 2, it'd be $259,000. So there's that difference. Total principal and interest for the life of the loan, if we do option 1, it's $3.8 million. If we do option 2, it's about $5 million. So, that's the overall picture, that we will be paying out more in interest, obviously, but it still gives us some more flexibility with cash. Obviously, they both have the same interest rate, so, we'll lock in one or the other at the same interest rate. Karen and I talked about it and whatnot. I mean, I think we feel comfortable with either options. I put in your packet, we are in a healthy spot in our cash reserves, and I think we can pay cash out if we want to. Just, do we want to save that cash reserves for future expenses and bond more now? The difference that, having a larger loan versus a smaller one for our debt schedule, we're only can have so much debt limit, is only 3.62%. So it doesn't hurt our debt limit that much, having the
Either
difference
way.
between the two bonds. We still have a lot of debt capacity, so doing the through $1 million, that's certainly an option too. So I guess it's discussion on you guys to see what you feel more comfortable doing.
So if we take the 514 take the sewer and water fund as we had talked originally, and then only 514, that's gonna,
It's $750,000 swing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a difference of $750,000.
Yep,
Right.
that's the loan.
That's available in our sewer fund, water fund, general fund.
Right.
Yep.
Where are we at in the sewer and water fund? Those funds are,
Pretty
you
good.
can't use them for
Yeah.
just anything.
So in your packet, here's your cash sheet, it tells you. So as of last month, at the end of the month, our water fund, we're 1.4 million in cash reserves, sewer fund is 1.7 million.
What
So,
are we gonna use that for?
you can use them for future projects that have water expense in it or sewer expense in it. Water, down the road, a water tower, possibly, sewer and water have to be used though for
That scope
water.
of work.
That's, scope. They can't be used for streets or, parks, that has to be used for general. They have to use it for, water needs to be used for water projects, sewer for sewer. That is a pretty healthy reserve for those two though.
I was just wondering if we could make up some of the difference there, lower the bond a little bit that way. I don't know.
All right, can I add my calculations into the mix? Okay, so we'll be paying in interest, or whatever, over the course of the loan, if we loan $750,000 more, the total cost of the city is an extra $500,000. So I took the difference and then took the $750 out. So it's an extra $500,000 over 20 years.
Yep.
To the cost of the city to do it this way.
And just to clarify, is that option 2?
3, right?
That's loaning the $3 million.
Loaning it.
Right.
Yeah, versus taking it out of cash reserves.
Right. You're looking at option
Just
3, right,
interest-
Jake?
Interest paid.
Right.
He's looking at the difference between them and, that'd be right.
I think, that it makes more sense to me to do the higher sales tax bond. I just was curious if we were uncomfortable and wanted to pick up 500 grand somewhere, would it make more sense to pull some of that out of the water and sewer
Right.
funds and leave the general fund alone?
You can only take out so much because.
Of what's in the project.
Project bid was.
So the estimate, and I didn't do it with the new cost figures, but that was the estimate of how much sewer was going to cost, how much water portion was going to cost. So we can't go over those amounts from the general.
What's
All right, that
this-
probably would have took more out of them with our first funding scenario.
What's the city's policy on investing? Like, could you take 750,000 and say, we could invest that at 6%? We'd actually earn $367,000 in interest over that same 70-year term, or 20-year term, if we got a 6% return.
And we can do investments.
Okay.
Yep,
It'd
so
be-
we can do,
Probably better to save 500,000 and make 360.
Oh, no, and we'd still take the higher amount.
Well, but we're still gonna pay the 500,000 on the higher amount, though.
Yeah.
I like where your brain's at.
What if we kind of hybrid here? What if we move the sewer and water fund over to Sunday funding option 2? So put that 260,000 over there with 28,000 out of the general fund, or 0 out of the general fund. And see, then make that sales tax
Yeah,
bond
just the sales tax bond, the difference.
275,
we absolutely can do that.
something to that effect.
That would keep, most of our expenses come out of general, so that would
Right.
keep, we wouldn't have to use anything from the general. We can use what we can out of the sewer and water since they're healthy.
Right.
And then, like you said, then just the difference is what we'll take out in a bond.
How's that sound?
To me, that sounds like
I don't
a,
mind that.
That's kind of what I was.
I know what you were saying, right?
That's what you were saying, Cindy, right?
I said,
I
that,
feel
that
like
sounds
those
practical.
funds are pretty restricted, and if they're healthy, why not?
That's really kind of a hybrid scenario 3, but just move the sewer and water or whatever to come up with, say, if you want to do even figures,
Yeah, we'll take
bring them
what
up
we
to
can out of sewer and water and
250,000, and then knock that,
On
and
the
take the 0 of the general fund out, and then make the sales tax bond 2,750.
Just to clarify though, that original funding scenario, that was at the price that the 5.6 that we estimated.
Correct.
Now, I'm guessing those prices came in lower.
And they could, so basically, what we should do is, what I'm hearing is, whatever the sewer and the water costs are, we take them out of those funds, and then the difference, keep general at 0, and the difference is what we'll adjust our sales tax bond to
Yep,
be.
that makes sense?
Yes.
I'm good paying a little bit out of.
General to make it 250,
Yeah,
we
we
want to
might-
do even numbers.
275, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'm good with that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
once we can get the breakdown of what the actual water and sewer is, and then we'll just,
You give us 2 options, and we still make up with
I know, you
Yeah.
come up with a third, killing us. No,
When do we have to have this decided then?
that's good.
Do you need to know this right now?
The sooner we can get decided on the
Locked
sales
in?
tax, decide our funding scenario, we can lock in our interest rate, because we can't lock that in.
So we
It
give
keeps
that to
rolling.
you in a motion to make the sales tax bond 2,750 and make the other numbers work? Is that enough information?
Or make the water sewer numbers work.
Work.
Work back in
Yes.
sales.
Yeah,
back
I'm
into
telling you
sales
to
tax.
back, yeah.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody want to fire away?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve adjusted funding to have sales tax bond at 2.75 million, and then the most allowed out of the sewer fund and most allowed out of the water fund and that general fund,
Yep.
for a total of 3.808380.
That makes sense?
Does that make sense?
No.
No.
So, what,
See,
so we're not getting a 2.25, we're gonna.
No, we know that.
2.7.
2.75, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
We want the sales tax bond to be 2,750.
Yep.
Do we?
Two-
Because
No,
don't we
that's-
want, no, I don't think, I
That's
think
not
we
gonna back
just want
into
whatever the difference is.
the difference. We want to use all the water we can, all the sewer we
But we
can.
don't even know
I
what
think
those
make the
numbers
motion
Yeah, we don't know
to
what
use
those
all the
numbers are.
water we
Those
can,
numbers
all the
are.
sewer we can.
Yeah, we do.
And any difference would be with the sales
So
tax.
they're
this
gonna
is
be
the max,
different.
based on the bid.
Yeah.
That we can take out for the
Right.
rest.
That's the original
Yes.
estimate though.
But the water and sewer,
I think Ryan
So
wanted.
your
Or
motion
the
could just,
water and sewer
your motion could
changing,
just
or
die
was
for
it
lack
the-
of a second, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
these
go.
are
But even
based
then,
off
I
the
think it still
estimate.
makes.
These are, yeah, just based off.
So
the
what Sean's point is, are with the reduced amount of the bid, what are the water and sewer fund amounts?
We don't know.
We'll have to look.
Right, so that's what I mean, like,
I'm not gonna
that's,
say, we'll,
I
Just like we have
I have a little bit of a, and I like our teamwork and trying to do this thing. I have a little bit of an issue making a motion when I don't know how much money I'm giving the water and sewer fund. We don't, we don't have accurate information in front of us.
Well, you could,
He's getting
you
it.
could
He's getting it, but it's not in front of me
You could
right
say
now.
not to exceed.
Yeah.
you can say not to, you know they're gonna be less than what's shown.
I hope so, but sometimes these estimators can,
And that's
no,
why the not-
I know,
And
yeah,
that's why the not to exceed covers you.
yeah.
yeah, so, and that's kind of what I said, basically, right? I mean, that we wanted the
said
sales
yes.
tax bond
I think the motion.
to be 2.75,
No,
right?
that's the number back in, because we don't know.
That's the number we're trying to back into if we can.
Oh.
I thought we didn't want to take anything
So
out
we
of
want the
it.
sales tax bond to be
Oh, he wants to take it
2.75
out.
mil.
No, I got
And
you.
then we back the
Well,
numbers
it might be
into,
2.45, or it might be 2.56,
Yes, yeah.
because we don't know.
Because I don't think those numbers are gonna be
yeah,
high.
no, that's
What
not,
Ryan's looking at is he wants the loan to be on that 2.75, take out what we can out of water, take what we can out of sewer, and take the rest out of general. to get to that
Exactly.
2.75.
Bingo.
You do want the two.
That's what I meant.
2.75, okay.
Is that,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, thank you, Craig. You speak Ryanese.
Basically, what you're voting on tonight is the sales tax bonds, and Ryan's motion was taking a 2.75 sales tax bond, and we will just the other figures
Yep.
per the bid.
Do we want to take anything out of general?
Well, we'll have to
That's
see
what
what
we
we
do
can.
to get down to the
Only
2.75.
That's what his motion is, to take some out of the general.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
But do we want to?
Oh, I think if it's only in that 20, 30,000, I don't think
I
that's
don't
gonna
think
hurt
it's
us at
gonna be
all.
a huge
It's probably
amount.
gonna be more than that.
I've been trying hard to do the math.
Strong arm for a pickleball court.
Well, there's 260,000 roughly right there.
That's, but those numbers are coming down.
Those are the old numbers.
Yeah,
So,
but the main price change, I believe, was in concrete. So I'm not expecting these to change a whole lot, but
A whole lot.
that's just,
Gotcha.
I don't even know.
okay.
So
But that's what they
just-
told me last meeting.
So we are sitting pretty healthy on cash. I guess, what would be the council's opinion on taking a larger amount of our cash reserves to, I'm just, I guess, spark some discussion on that. Is anybody strongly opposed at using?
Yes.
Okay, and I would like to know why, just so I can better comprehend your thinking of that.
Go ahead and then I'll start.
Why am I opposed to taking more cash out of general
Yes.
fund just because we have it? It seems like a silly reason to, just because we have it. I think the terms here are favorable. I don't think it puts the city in at a detriment for future debt service. And I think that there may be other things that come up that would be more desirable to stay liquid and have more funds available in the general fund, given the parameters of this financing. This to me is very attractive.
And I would add to that, Sean, I'm not sure, I don't know that anybody's sure what this sales tax, or what this property tax freeze is going to do.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have a motion on there? You should probably-
Oh, yeah.
Motion or-
Did we get a second? No, I don't even know if we ever got a second.
Motion second, so I think we gotta kill it, or?
No, I think it's, I
It
mean,
just died, no second.
no second.
Is that fair?
So if we use the total, the $3,880,380,
Yep.
and we take out our community access grant, our REIT loan, that leaves us $3,028,380. If we take out $2,750,000, we need to make up $278,380.
Yep.
And that would be just short of the current water and sewer expense.
Yep.
Or just,
So with the difference there being coming out of the general fund,
$10,000, yeah.
roughly, is what you're saying? Okay.
unless this water and sewer numbers are, Justin's penciling it over there as fast as he can.
I'm really concerned about the estimate for lights, but
You're thinking that's super low, or?
that could be 30% higher. But we'll just take that out. We'll just, that difference, again, to your point, could come out of the general.
Actual sewer cost is 115 approximately, so we are a little lower than that 140.
Okay.
So water and sewer is?
Sewer's 115.
So can we make a motion that basically goes through what I just said, to do the maximum, do the sales tax bond at a maximum of $2,750,000.
Pretty sure I just did this.
That's right.
Not all of us over on this side over here are as quick at math as you
Well, I
guys.
guess my question is, do we have to list out all of the numbers and approve this scenario, or are we just trying to
We
approve
just
what we
need to
want
know
to
what
take
our
for a
sales tax bond.
So all we have to do is make a motion on the amount for the bond.
Yep.
And then we'll figure
Then back into
out
it.
after that.
Yep, and then we can,
Okay. That makes life considerably easier.
All right, let her fly.
Well, I'm gonna get a motion out of this, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve a funding scenario with the sales tax bond being not to exceed 2.75 million.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, we're gonna vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barron's?
yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
Okay. Did I give you what you need?
We didn't know there was going to be a math quiz tonight.
Boy. No, that's good information, though. That's good. I think that's great discussion for us to have.
So I'm guessing
And I think that's doable.
you'll provide the final.
Yeah, you'll give us,
Yep, we'll do it.
I know.
And we get locked in, and
she'll give us an email, but don't respond to
I get
it.
numbers from my,
You can respond to
Per
her,
the-
not to everybody.
To her, not to
Not
everybody.
everybody.
Per the previous conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Thank you all. Now let's move to new business. Review, approve the surplus list. I've been here for 9 years and I still haven't quite figured out this deal, but that's me.
This gives them approval to junk stuff, right?
I think it's exactly what we're
basically,
doing.
you
All
have to
right,
throw it away.
Motion to approve the surplus list as
Second.
presented.
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barron's?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
John, you want it.
I'm
You
kind
want
of
that
halfway
stuff.
Dutch, man. I don't get it real long. How's that?
I'll put it in the back of
Man,
your
you got
pickup.
a LaserJet printer from 15 years ago that still works. That's amazing.
And it's been sitting on the shelf for quite a few years. We
It's got a pole.
come up with this because we cleaned out our storeroom, so we.
All right, last group of items is Park and Rec Board requests. So we allocated some money in the budget for the Park and Rec Board. They've been doing some wonderful work and have presented some items they would like to have us release the funding on. First one is pickleball restroom and shades.
Shade structures.
Shade structures in Lion Park and the dog park, right?
The restroom in Lion Park, and then the shade structure will be for the dog park.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Two shade structures at the dog park.
Yep.
Not touche, touche.
To shade.
Two shade.
So we talked about, these things were in budget, and like I said, the restrooms will be for Lions Park, it'd be the
Yep.
ones that are by the pickleball courts. There's one there, a building there that is unusable and has been for a few years. That will get torn down, and then this new structure will get put in place.
Right.
And then the two shade structures, that was also in budget. Those will go out to the dog park for some shade there. That came in at budget, but the restroom was a little high, so.
Craig, send me your specs on that, if you would, for that bathroom.
I haven't got them together yet. I'm gonna, once it,
Oh, I was gonna say, how did you know the electrical's on?
these are pretty accurate numbers, but they're rough numbers too, because until it gets approved, then I'll go out and get actual
Okay.
quotes on everything, if you approve it. If you don't approve it, I'm not gonna.
You're just spitballing.
So I got my numbers down, what I think where we're at with concrete and everything like that. And I've had.
You just go to Menard's website to get your electrical pricing, or?
No. So.
All right, can we do these all at once, or do you want to do them individually, or how do you want to do it?
I just have a quick question on the
Okay.
restroom. Is that's gonna be located in a place that's advantageous for the future park design? Like, we're not gonna have to tear this down, we wanna put it.
We wouldn't tear it.
So the draft design that you guys saw, it's in the same spot.
Okay.
So remember, last meeting,
Yep.
ISG
Okay.
had a draft
Okay, so
design,
it's-
and it
it's
was,
good to go with
it's
the
where it's
future.
gonna go, yeah.
Perfect.
And this is not, it's the restrooms plus some concrete to bring it, so for ADA, to bring it to the other sidewalk and then around the unit too, so.
How much extra would it cost to put some gates on that pickleball court?
I didn't think if they'd want them on it, that's why I didn't put them.
If there's, you don't want them on there until you gotta go chase your ball down.
Yeah, I
Chase your
agree.
ball down, and chase your ball down,
I mean,
and
we
chase your
could
ball
certainly,
down.
we'll end up having to build them ourselves, I mean, which isn't a big
Yeah.
deal, we can weld, cut and
It's
weld
like-
stuff, I mean, it ain't gonna cost that much to do, and we've got some extra fencing, so.
Perfect.
I think we've got extra tubing, it's just a matter of getting
Well,
the hinges.
they're maintenance problems, the ones in Sioux Falls, I think, so you got the opening, you can go in and out, there's no gate, but then there's a, like another panel here, behind the door, so that you hit it, come back, but you can still get in and out.
Oh, sure.
Without a
Around the
gate.
side of
Sure.
it, basically.
It's
Yeah.
Kind of a catch on them.
Yeah.
kind of like at our baseball field, where
Yeah.
there's a little bit offset, and, you know,
There's that.
herd the cattle through there, so to speak. Got it.
I mean, yeah, there's options, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll build whatever we need to
Sure.
build, I mean, so.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, those latches and the gates are kind of, you know.
Yeah,
And the hinges.
and maybe it's just something that needs to be done seasonally, so that people aren't, when it's super muddy, so people aren't tracking mud, and maybe it's just a nuance of it being new.
I take my leaf
Well, we
blower
haven't
out
had a
there.
chance for grass to grow yet, so.
Your power scrubber.
All right,
Motion to approve the request, funding request from the Park and Rec Board.
Second.
any discussion? This is just on the first one, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just on these first two.
All right, hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Abstain.
Keel?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, second one is to allow ISG to start design for expanded parking area at Swenson Park. 2025 budget, they put in to expand the existing gravel parking lot.
So help me understand. This isn't different from our last plan where parking was laid out, correct?
Correct.
It's just,
We might tweak it just a little bit
Okay.
because of the, putting in the playground equipment and stuff in there.
okay,
But the general parking and road is all pretty much
Yeah.
the same.
okay.
It'll be north of the ball field.
Yep, it kind of curves around it.
Yep.
Yep.
It's been a while
ISG
since I've
got
looked at
the
that
approved
track,
plan,
but-
and they've kind of
Sure.
figured how it lay
At
in
the
there.
last meeting, we said, let's see if we can tweak it a little bit
Sure.
to make it better
Right.
than what it is, what it will be.
Sure, okay.
Around the north field, on the north side of the north field,
Yep.
I would call
Yeah,
it.
the north
It kind of
field.
follows where the manholes are at,
Right,
and that
yep.
sewer that goes back.
Yep.
And it's gonna have a play structure integrated in it? That would be the biggest difference?
Yeah, we've got the play structure from
Right.
the school.
Yep.
So we're looking where we want to put it at. I just want to make sure that it's going to fit with what
Sure.
they designed for the parking.
Sure, got it,
Or
okay.
if we need to change something just a little bit, if we get too carried away.
Right. Okay.
The 215, that was, number was given to the Park Rec by ISG, right? Did you guys work with them at all?
215 will be able to do it, and just for everybody's awareness, that will be an asphalt milling surface on that. So we're trying to go economical. It's not going to be a paved surface. It's not going to be asphalt. One thing we talked about though, with just the future of that area, do some grading, do a cement stabilized base. That way we have a good base. That's a pretty economical way to get a base down. Put a little granular base and then get our buildings on top. We are going to get buildings from Western Avenue project that will be delivered up there, so there will be
sure.
some cost benefit on that aspect.
What's the engineering cost on it?
So we're, with engineering, I mean, our budget's 210, we're going to be pushing that budget, but we'll be able to get as much as we can in that. So-
I guess what's your guys'
So
cost?
engineering fee is going to be about 10K,
Okay.
and that will take us through bidding. So it's going to be a pretty simple construction plan, I will say, you know, just a couple sheets, grading file, something that we can give the contractors. So.
The way you're talking about the gravel and that, say we just decide to leave it gravel forever and have a paved road go through there, whatever, this will be a good option for that? I mean, is that?
So that's where we talked, my recommendation would be doing something with that stabilized space.
Okay.
That way it's gonna limit Craig's time out there doing, call it maintenance of that area.
Right.
Right, you know, so if you have a good base, throw these blades on top, it's gonna last for a while, so.
I would agree.
Otherwise, sometimes if it gets wet, if you don't have that good base, you get those potholes, just becomes pretty messy, especially sometimes in the spring when it frosts on the ground, so.
All right,
That's good.
perfect.
Where's the Swenton Park at?
Oh, you're killing me with
I usually say, oh, that's one.
Yeah,
I usually
one.
put that, yeah,
Yeah.
I usually put that down on my, yeah. Tough crowd,
You
tough
say they're supposed to
crowd.
be catching those for me. so-
Oh, yeah, yeah. Start pointing at everybody else, Teresa. That works. Start pointing at everybody else.
That's something straight out of Arden's book.
I think that's right.
I don't
walked in
get
on her
to
when she's
point at
typing this up and
anybody.
interrupted her, so-
I got one point at somebody else and three back at me. That's what usually happens. All right, any action on this one?
Motion to allow ISG to start design for expanding the parking area at Swenson Park for an amount not to exceed $215,000, if I'm reading this correctly.
Do I have a second?
Jake got
I
it.
did it right when you said it.
Oh, you did?
I did hear
Well,
it,
right when
yeah.
you said, do we have a second?
Yeah, yeah.
Then I second.
Okay.
Same time.
Man, I tell you, you guys are trying to make me look bad.
Simultaneously.
All right, any discussion?
When does the play structure go up, after the parking lot?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until they, at least until they get it staked out, and then I can put it, I hate to get ahead of the horse here.
Yeah.
Get in their way.
Have something in the way, yeah, so.
You gotta take it down again.
Yeah, that's right. All right, anything else? If not, we'll vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
No.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
Your consistency.
All right, update on the concession stand. Oh, yes.
Just one thing to note that I think is important, we're gonna add roughly 120 stalls of parking up in that area, just for your guys' reference with this project. So I think it's a pretty good amount, it's pretty investment on there, that was the key to it, just to get those.
Wow.
parking
Yeah, that's a lot of
stalls.
parking.
Because you figure.
We're gonna be able to have a
60 in
rock
and 60
concert.
out, right? You have that overlap for games. Is that kind of the, is that?
Well,
is that-
a lot of that is just based on that area that we have
Sure.
penciled out and where we can get the most.
Okay.
Most stalls in there, so.
We'll have ZZ Top or somebody. Boomer. That's a boomer band.
Yeah, that is.
It's gonna have to be their tribute band. because-
Unless we got, yeah. All right, okay. Update on the concession stand. Teresa, give us a little run here with
Yeah, I
their,
just wanted to add this too, because I want to give you an update of where we're at with the concession stand. It's a great building, turned out really nice. Can't find anybody to run it. Put the RFP out, as you know, we advertised that for a couple months, didn't get any takers on it. I had one person that was interested, but ultimately they decided not to do it. They do some concessions in Sioux Falls and decided they were too busy with that. We did extend it for another month in addition to our original, so 3 months we advertised it, still didn't get any takers. So when the park board last talked about it, basically the thought was, see if we can get some of the nonprofits like the PTA, the boosters, the band, people that need to want to do some fundraising, maybe see if we can get like a group to take it a week at a time, so like PTA take it for this week and the boosters, and then we can hopefully fill in enough to get most of the season covered and whatnot. So I think that's going to be our plan moving forward, is to offer it out there. I did get all the group contacts from the school that I could, so we can send a letter out to them offering this. I did check with the Department of Revenue and the State Health Department to see what guidelines we need to abide by. Told them what our plan was, is that it looks like we're going to have to allow different agencies to go in there and run this for us. We don't have just one person doing it. If we do it that way, both departments said it's best to kind of run the concession stand under the city's umbrella. Basically, city buy the items that we're going to sell, set the prices. Basically, we would buy the items, take our cost out of it. We would have to pay the sales tax on it, because sales tax does need to be paid in with it. And then that difference can then be profit. And so, that's what we can look at. We might want to take 2 or 3% out for overhead for electricity or something, but then the difference, the profit, we can offer to who's ever running the stand.
You'd say basically like, here's X, Y, and Z supplies at a cost of this, and then.
Yep.
Mark them up and off we go.
Mark what the candy bars are gonna cost us.
Yep.
Here's what it's gonna cost us, here's what we're gonna sell it at, here's what take away the sales tax, here's what the.
This is what you're gonna make.
So now we have city employees managing and shopping and,
Yep.
is that what we wanted to do?
No.
We agreed to
Not
build
what
the
we wanted to
building.
do.
Correct.
Right. The trouble with having just the boosters come in there for a week, or the band coming in there for a week, the state says some entities are set up the correct way to pay sales tax and to be licensed or whatnot. Some are not. It really depends on how they're set up. And if they're totally a volunteer and they're not set up like a 501c3, the most days they can run it in a row is 3 days only.
Wow.
So I don't know
3
if you
days
have a group.
total only. Wow.
3 consecutive days is the most they can do it. And then we would have to keep track of how they're set up and who gets in and who doesn't.
Is it that hard, though? I mean, to me, saying, show me your 501c3 status.
I'm afraid we might not get enough days covered doing it that way. They can only do it for 3
But
days.
why are we compelled to provide concessions out there?
Because nobody else wants to, right?
Well, maybe they'll figure it out. I mean, I just don't, I mean, are we gonna run it? It's bad enough running it at the pool.
And the trouble too, so like say you have softball association do it and they have parents come in there and run it. Well, they're gonna need to pay sales tax on it and so
But we
somebody's
did
got
that
to be
with the Booster
responsible for
Club
that.
all the time. We did it with Booster Club all the time. If they're one of those clubs, they should be,
The Booster Club bought all the stuff.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the next caveat I put in there. Right after the Park and Rec Board met, Kim, with the Booster Club, says that they would like to come and run all the high school games. So there's about 7 games, I think, or 7 or 9, 9 games through April and May, the high school play. They said they would bring all their own stuff, all their own equipment, they just want to use our building if they can do all the high school. I sent an email out to the Park and Rec Board, all the voting members got back to me and said they don't see any problem with it, since literally we don't have anybody right now running it anyway, and they just want to use the building, so I'll work with them to cover those high school games, but now it's, the rest of the time, how do we do it?
well, I mean, who's gonna do that? You know,
So I think once we do
Karen's
an
gonna do the
initial order, so I'm gonna have to get these cost figures and figure out what we're gonna sell to present it to the park board at their next meeting anyway. I think a lot of this we can order online, you can send it to us and have
it delivered?
Have it delivered. I don't think anybody needs to go and do it. We can get a cash register, just like we have out at the pool, and you can program the button, say, these are the candy bars, this is the chips, this is the, and they'll print you a report saying you've sold so many candy bars, you've sold so many chips or whatnot. So we can use, so let's say an organization does it for a week. At the end of that week, we can print out that report. We should know then what our inventory is of what was used out of there, and then we
So you
figure.
can't have any like hot food items, or you need somebody ServSafe certified?
No. So that's, when I talked to the health department, yes, we can only basically are limited to prepackaged unless we get somebody who gets certified in safe food handling. That is a cost and a class too.
How does that work
You'll
with
be
the
subject
school?
to inspections then. I
Costs don't
suggest
go.
we don't go down that road just to provide
Because there's
cheese for a hot
cafeteria.
dog. That's,
Right.
can go without.
On site. Wendy and I have had this discussion. Don't ask, don't tell. I don't know.
I guess
Ignorance is bliss.
I was,
I don't think we budgeted city
city
employees to
And they have all
run
the
a
facilities
concession
there.
stand.
It's probably improved.
They do, yeah.
I'm not crazy about it at all.
So there's a lot of, obviously a lot of organizations in town, so I know we put out an RFP, has the park board, and I'm sure they have, maybe you said this. Have they compiled just, I guess, a list of, okay, we've got these 15 or 20 organizations, have they directly reached out to them? Because not everybody, I guess not everyone's reading, you know, the Messenger or wherever, the website where you're putting out these RFPs.
All the associations knew about it, so that's how Kim with the booster got a hold of me. She knew we were doing this RFP, knew we didn't have anybody. They didn't apply for the RFP because they didn't want to do the whole season. Yeah, they just wanted these games.
Well, it's just kind of interesting.
And we
yeah.
did ask every association before we even did the RFP if they were interested in like having their parents come in and run it through their season at least. None of them wanted to do it because
So everybody wants a
they
concession stand.
they all want concessions, but
We don't want the
nobody
city
wants
to
Nobody
lose
wants-
money on it.
No way, yeah, I mean, I don't see a world where we would ever have, you know, having
Where's
something.
the information on the RFP?
It's on our website.
It's on the website, okay.
Yep. Yep.
So what do we need for action on this? You need approval to
So-
let the,
So I'm just wanting to update you on what the Park and Rec Board's discussion is. They're gonna discuss it again at their next meeting. I'm gonna, like I said, do a list of prices and what we could make or can't make. So they can review it again and decide if that's what we're gonna do, offer it to these organizations. So they're gonna have a little more discussion on it. Like I said, if we do put it under our umbrella, I just want the council to know there'll be some added personnel doing stuff, there will be added costs with, you know, we'll have to buy a hot dog roll or a popcorn machine, a cash register. I thought maybe about
But
a
I'm
couple
not
thousand extra
joking, like-
expenses.
Are we gonna hire somebody to manage the concession stand?
Oh, I don't
Then
think,
who gets to do that?
I think in our office we can do it, like I said, I
I-
think once we get everything ordered
I
and
don't think
have it
anybody at that
delivered,
table should
I think
be-
with the reports, it could be, I don't think it'll be that time consuming.
You guys are expensive help to run a concession stand, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's
But you're not-
ridiculous.
You're not running it, you're just buying.
yeah, we're just
Yeah.
buying the items, we're not right,
Yeah.
these organizations are coming
You're
in
not
to run
sitting
it.
there
Who's gonna do inventory? Who's gonna make sure
Like
the
I said, I
orders
think
are
we
there?
could-
Trip it
Courts
over
can
$1
spit
to
us
pick up a
out.
dime.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the other option is we just let it sit empty.
Yep.
And then.
We sure don't want to
Somebody
do
will
that.
figure it out, would be my bet.
Put a sign
Somebody's
up
gonna
there.
figure out, why did we build this concession stand?
I think the biggest
When nobody's
discussion
gonna
for
run it.
tonight is if we want the Booster Club to come in there, because they're gonna have a game, Monday night.
Yes.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think
I'd
that's-
say
I was gonna say,
first
they didn't
let's
have any problem with
approve,
that.
let's approve that.
Yep.
And then we'll.
Thanks, Craig.
Right, thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig's
That
always
Craig,
keeping-
he's
yeah.
thinking all the time. Man, I'll tell you
I think he
what.
just wants to.
That's why he's here.
That's not.
Yeah, so tonight, is everybody okay with the Booster Club coming in and using the building?
They come in
Like I
and
Do you need a
said,
motion?
yeah, it would be good,
I
just
make a
so.
motion to let the booster come in and, Booster Club come in and run the high school games.
Second.
Yeah, any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jess?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Okay, let's,
And then, like I said, the park board is gonna talk about their meeting this month, so after they talk about it again, we'll come back to the council to see. Let you know what their
If you've
discussion
never
was
run
on
a
that.
concession stand, you don't know what a pain in the butt is.
I really think we need to press these
This is my biggest worry, that we
organizations
couldn't
hard.
find anybody
They
for
wanted,
this.
they wanted to,
Right.
I think we need to press these the soccer, the softball, we gotta press these guys a little harder. They wanted this deal, and we've done it for
And
them.
now we're gonna spend city money running
I think
flipping
we,
concession stand.
I think we
This
need
is
to
my
press
biggest
them a
fear.
little harder on
I
this
think
deal.
the soccer group's gonna be against it because it's not. by the
Close to
soccer
them,
group,
right,
And they're still gonna probably have porta potties, you know, so.
yeah.
Well, maybe we just need to put some water and pop machines out there.
All right, well,
I will make this suggestion, and we talked the other day, Teresa. It is challenging to find the form to sponsor a flyer on the fence out there. I would venture to guess that if we did the same thing for the RFP for the concession stand on our city website, if that was the case.
It should be under news too. We did the same thing for
It's
that.
challenging to find it under news.
That's the only place, like, directly from the main page.
So our.
I kind of liked our old one where you
Yeah, I
could
was gonna say, our-
have stuff like
our-
on
our landing-
sidebars and stuff.
Our landing
Don't have
page
it.
looks good, but it's clunky.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because you can't put just something, you have to put it under a tab somewhere. And it's not that clear, like you said.
No.
You have to click
in
the,
your face, you have to click to
Right.
get it.
right.
Yeah.
With the other one, you can put sidebars and it'll be right there when you look at the front
Does
page.
the
And I
Sports
like
and Rec
that.
Committee exist?
Hmm?
Does the Sports and Rec Committee exist?
It's still on here.
Yes,
Yeah, we haven't had meeting minutes from them since 2022.
we haven't
I would
gotten
take them
any.
off.
And I don't even know if
Who is
they're,
that?
I would take them off our page.
What is that?
It's like, that's the old sport, when they were trying to get that deal going out there,
they're still
right?
organized and they still
They're-
exist.
They're not standing in
Maybe
line
they
to
should
run the
run the
concessions.
concession stand.
Right.
No, but I'm serious. I mean, honestly, all those groups that raise funds for schools and sports, they're all set up properly. They are. So I don't think that verifying that to me is a less of a barrier than,
So what you're saying, you want them to come in and bring in all their stuff to
Yeah.
work it?
yeah.
So they
I don't care
They
if
bring
we
in
put
their own
like
popcorn
a,
machine and their hot dog roller and then all the supplies?
You'd rather have them focus on the administrative side of that than the physical side of that, buying the material, the candy and.
Yeah,
dealing
we
with
want
all
somebody
that.
else to do it, right?
I'd
Bring us
rather,
your
if we have to have
documentation.
some machines in there or something, fine.
Sure.
Right.
Some, you know,
We got a
to-
cooler in there, I mean,
whatever,
we've,
Cooler, we could
Yeah,
get
we've
some
put
of the
some stuff
equipment
in
in
there.
it.
Right.
But then have them, like I said, get all the
Yep.
things they're gonna sell and keep
Yep.
track
I
of it
don't
and
think
take
when
it out
we-
with them when they
I
leave.
think the ask was for us to support the building of the facilities out there.
yeah.
When was that approved? Was it last summer or was it
Been going
before
on for
that?
like 4 years.
1965 or
The
6 was
building?
The
that?
building.
Well, yeah, we have. like,
We've been on how many years?
built it.
We've been on a long time.
Hold on, last summer? you
Yep,
said?
we built it last.
But
It was all at
like
6.
4
I
years
remember
in
going
the
to Sports and
making.
Rec Committee.
Yeah, I do too.
I was talking, it's been.
All right,
Yeah, debacle.
Okay, I think I guess this is work.
Golden? Debacle. Clear's mud?
Clear's mud.
It was a debacle.
All right, we need a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
Good to see you, Bryce.
So moved.
See you, Bryce.
And economic
Thanks.
development.
I'm gonna be bringing my RFP for the concession stand.
Yeah, let's get that,
Perfect, you
get
do
that
I'm
going.
so annoyed by that.
And can I add
And a
economic
motion, did we get
development?
a second?
And economic development.
And economic
So
development.
moved.
I did.
Oh,
Somebody
second,
moved and
second.
All in favor? Aye. And I'm sorry, I let this thing get away from me here.
Control again.
And
It's red.
action.
You need one of those fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Take,
Motion, yep, go ahead.
second.
All in favor?